Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Yani if you're new. I'm a 2023 bride and today we are starting Wedding Wednesdays as a way for me to help you out if you're a new bride. Congratulations. And just make this process, seamless and stress-free as possible. I'm not a professional, but I did plan my own wedding, so I'm hoping I can give you guys some tips and tricks and also things that I regretted that I did or regretted that I didn't do. And yeah, just kind of learn from my mistakes. I would love to be a wedding planner. I thought the whole process was so much fun. I didn't feel any stress. I think the only stressful part about wedding planning is just the budget and just seeing how much money you put into this. And yeah, it's just crazy. I would do certain things a little bit differently, but I have a little list that I'm going to go over, and it is four things that I think are most important when starting a wedding. So let's get into it. The first one, we just kind of spoke about it, is the budget. You always want to make sure you have a budget that fits your plans, and weddings are very expensive. It is ridiculous how expensive weddings are. And I don't think I would have eloped, but I feel like I wish I would have done something smaller and then had a big party afterwards. But it was still a beautiful ceremony, reception, everything. So I don't regret having like a bigger wedding. I just wish we would have scaled down just a little bit. So always know your budget. Sit down with your partner and just go over all the details and see what it is that you guys want to do and how much you want to spend. And then just try not to go overboard. Sometimes it happens, you end up finding things that you like and you really want for the wedding. It's your special day. Of course, you're just going to want to do everything possible to make it like the most special and fun day. I am guilty of that. Always work on a budget that works for you. And yeah, let's go to the next thing. The next thing is a date. Now, you don't want to be too consumed on just one specific date because there are people that are planning ahead as well. Let's say you find your dream venue and they say, that date's taken. I already had another plan B for as far as like what other date I wanted. So I knew for a fact I wanted to go in there with extra dates. Now, if it's a very specific date that you really, really want, then I would maybe consider talking to the venue about like next year or having them call you if something were to come up and if the couple ended up canceling. So always have multiple dates in mind just in case it doesn't work out. And then the third one is your venue. You always want to make sure that you have your guests in mind with the venue. Make sure that there's hotels nearby, make sure that the airport's nearby if people are traveling for your wedding. You always want to make sure that you're thinking of everyone else as well. And as far as like the venue, I did have a list of questions that I wanted to ask. You just need to make sure that this place is going to be tailored to you and have all the things that you need, whether that's a bathroom, if it's in the summertime, if they have an AC. So I have that list of questions in my binder that I'm going to try to get within like the next week or two. So I will make sure to leave the questions in the description just so you're kind of prepared when you're at the venue. Also, if it's an outside venue and you live somewhere where it's going to rain or there's snow or like whatever it may be, you always want to make sure that they are prepared for that kind of situation. So if it's outside, you want to make sure they have like covers or if that's something that you have to provide yourself. But it was just so useful and every place that we went to said they've never seen such an organized bride, and I felt like oh god, I just had everything prepared in a binder. Just wanted to make sure I had all my ducks in a row because I've never done it before, but I love to like plan parties and stuff, so this just felt like a big party for me to plan, and I was just so excited. So when they said that I was like the most organized bride, like my husband just laughed because I don't know. That's just who I am. I love to be organized. I like to ask questions. I just like to make sure that I know what I'm doing or somebody can help me to figure things out. So that's my job here, is to try to help you out and hopefully make this process for you fun, because I really truly enjoyed it. I don't think it was ever stressful. Like I said, just the money situation, but that's pretty much it. The last thing is a rough estimate on a guest count. So, how many people do you want to have at your wedding? And at first, Chase and I were kind of going, like, I wanted it smaller, he wanted it a little bit bigger. He has so many like friends and family, and I have a big family, but as far as like friends, I knew not everyone was going to be able to travel to Washington for the wedding. So I wanted to keep it 110 below, and he wanted 150. So we agreed on 110. 110 just sounded a lot better, and that worked with our budget. So yes, you always want to have a rough estimate, because that is going to take into play when you're talking to the catering company. So, yeah, that was very important to me. I'm going to be kind of bouncing around because I don't feel as prepared as I should be. I just decided I wanted to do this segment on Sunday, but I've just been so busy. Going back to the venue, you also want to make sure that you know if they're going to be providing like the tables and chairs, or if you have to provide them yourself. Now, the good thing about having to do it yourself is if they allow you to go the day before to set up, that's perfect. My sister-in-law had that happen, but it was just so chaotic to have to do like all the tables and the chairs, and then decorate the tables and stuff like that, and then like versus having everything already set up by the venue, which is what we had, and it was just so much more helpful. And we still had to set up a lot of stuff the day of, which did take a lot of time. I wish we would have had the venue the day before, but you just want to take certain things like that into consideration. You might have the venue the day before, but having to set up everything is just very chaotic. And the more guests you have, the more crazy it becomes. And so, yeah, I do not regret having all that stuff set up by the venue. I thought that just made it so much easier. So that's definitely something that you want to take into consideration. I also wanted to add one more thing. If a wedding planner is in your budget, I would suggest doing that, especially if you're someone that doesn't like to plan things and this is just very overwhelming for you. But if it's not, I would definitely hire the wedding coordinator. Now, that person is just there for the whole day. They're not with you planning the entire time. We were fortunate enough that our venue had someone for that. So we just paid that amount, and she was there the entire day, and it was extremely helpful. So a wedding planner might be really expensive, but I would consider doing the wedding coordinator. It was just such a big help, and she did amazing. So that is one of my tips for you. I will be more prepared next time, but I feel like those are just like the main tips that I have right now. I do have a list of everything on my phone. I will be more myself and more organized in the next video. And if there's anything that I forgot in regards to like the 4 topics that I had today, I'll make sure to talk about it in the next video. But thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you next Wednesday. Bye.